This is Downward Chronicles, and welcome to Badagry, Nigeria.
So good afternoon. Welcome to the Mobile Museum. This is where we have the original chains and shackles used during the period of slavery. These chains are over 500 years because slavery lasted here in Badagry about 350 to 400 years. This man buried here, his father was a middleman between the whites and the blacks. So anytime the whites came around to buy slave, his father would offer them kola nuts, saying in his local dialect, Oyinbo Remi, Emobije, my white friend, pick kola nuts and eat. He says this to them every time, but because they could not understand his language, they could only pick out the word Mobi. So over time, they started calling him Mr. Mobi, Mr. Mobi, Mr. Mobi. Mobi is now a chieftaincy title here in Badagry, and the family decided to adopt Mobi as their family surname. So back to the man buried here. He is the son, but he did not like the trade his father was doing. He revolted against his father in the year 1852 and officially stopped slavery in Badagry. In that same year, he was also one of the chiefs who signed the Treaty of Abolishment of Slavery. After all this, he noticed Europeans were still around and they were taking slaves illegally out of Africa. So he fought against them back in the year 1888 and successfully stopped slavery in Badagry. So this year are some of the chains he seized during that period, and this year is called the neck lock. Slaves were meant to walk with this around their neck for 18 hours every day, even while traveling. Traveling takes about 3 to 4 months. This is meant to remain around their necks. Would you like to feel the weight of the chain?
Eh? You can carry this thing, like, wait, guy. I cannot take anything. This way. Show it. Ah, look at my veins that coming out. On the neck.
Yes.
Yeah, go for. Eh? Ah, this thing is terrible. It's terrible.
This here is a torture weapon, and after catching runaway slaves, they force this down to their wrist. You see, most times this may not go in. So they break the bones here, they force it down to this level, make them stand on a platform, then they take this up and screw it. Remove what they are standing on and make the entire weight feel on one arm. During that process, slaves tend to lose the ability to function with their arms properly. At times they even lose their lives.
I don't know, okay, they're good. Some of them might even die. So.
Yes.
Because
This here is called an ankle lock, and this was used for slaves that work in the farm. You see, we have two categories of slaves, the domestic and the field ones. This was used for the field slaves. For them not to try to escape, they take the leg of Paul, the leg of Peter. They padlock this together and make them work together with this at the same time. This here is called slave branding iron. So. You see, at that time, slaves do not bear name. They only bear the name of their masters or any name their masters wish to give to them. So for instance, if the master bears Williams, the slaves are to bear Williams. Now they put this in fire. And when this is red hot, they'll use this to inscribe Williams on the body of the slave. For males on the chest and for females at the back. They also use this to perforate the upper and the lower lips of a slave.
So that is good.
Yes. Then they put this in. This is called the mouth lock. They put this, dry the perforated lips out, then they padlock it like this. That is to ensure.
No, that is for farm. I mean, in the farm, so that they will not eat.
Yes, and they will not communicate.
They will not sing all these chanting African songs. You know those things lift spirits now.
This year is the money spent then in Africa.
Money.
Yes, this is known as cowries. We spent other items like salt and manila, but this was the most used. The white did not recognize any of this as any form of payment, so they resorted to trade by barter. They take 10 slaves for a bottle of gin, 40 slaves for the small size cannon gun, and 100 slaves for the bigger. 10 slaves.
The bottle?
Yes.
But the gin is inside?
Yes.
And this is 10 people?
Yes.
Yeah, you're not worth more than a gin.
The small size cannon gun for 40 slaves and the bigger size for 100 slaves. They also exchange other items like umbrella for 40 slaves, ceramic dish for 10, so on and so forth. This here is called the slave drinking pot. 40 to 50 slaves were meant to drink out of this pot at the same time. With their hands tied to the back, they bend down to drink like animals. While struggling for water first, the sharp edge of the pot tends to cut them, and blood, mucus, saliva, death gets inside. The next batch of slaves that want to drink, they have no choice but to drink from it like that, because slaves only have access to food and water once a day. And lastly, I told you Mobi is now a chieftaincy title here in Badagry. This is the current chief, the current Mobi of Badagry.
The present one?
Yes. So thank you very much for coming. Do you have any questions?
I don't have any questions. How about all this?
How much did this chain weigh?
About 10 kg. Yes.
For one person on the neck? For 4 months.
Yes. 18 hours every day.
That's why there is the Zong. You know, have you heard about Zong massacre? That they are pushing people off the slave ship. And people will die now. Ah, bro, this thing 10 kg Nagas. No, it's terrible. Thank you very much. I know it's this.
This is just an illustration that anybody can be taken into slavery, regardless of status.
Even a queen.
Yes, this is a princess, and she's a slave.
This is an example, not
Yes.
the actual person. Okay. And what's all this?
Here, this one, the royal musical instruments used here in Badagry by the royal housewives. They are called ajogon. They are used during period of festivities or when we want to install the new key.
How about all this?
Just illustrations, different illustrations. For example,
But they're just paintings, not.
No. Resistance and public punishment. That one just talks about a slave that refuses to accept the master's religion or belief, so it brings strip off of his clothes and is put to death.
Kinte. Son of Omoro. You've not heard of the movie. He refused to be called Toby. Opopogo. Yes, sir. That Opopogo is real. Thank you very much. Now we're going to another area.
So you're welcome to Badagry Heritage Museum. So this museum was built in the year 1863. It was former district commissioner's office. It was later converted to museum in the year 2002 by the governor of Lagos State, the present president of Nigeria, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So this building has been standing for 163 years now. So and the museum is all about transatlantic slave trade and the world. And here we have a map. So here was the map that shows movement of Europeans right from Europe to Africa. The Europeans came to Africa and they brought some items to Africa in exchange of slave. The items include gunpowder, mirror, bead, copper bars, bottle of gin, umbrella, and weapons used in slave raiding. So all these were given to African leaders in exchange of slaves. The Europeans take slaves from Africa down to West Indies. So the West Indies is Caribbean island where the slaves work on different plantations like cotton plantation, tobacco plantation, banana plantation, and sugarcane plantation. Anything the slave planted here, they harvest to Europe. In Europe, they turn the crops to finishing goods, sugarcane to sugar, cotton to telsais, tobacco to cigarettes, and banana to raw wine. So they bring it back to Africa to have more slaves. So because they are journeying from Europe to Africa, from Africa to West Indies, from West Indies back to Europe form a triangular shape. And they walk the slave through Atlantic Ocean to come across the title called Atlantic Triangular Slave Trade around the world. That's why the museum holds full details about transatlantic slave trade all over the world. So you're welcome. I'm Oluwatosin to take your notes. Thank you very much. Okay. So here we have a symbol. So this was a symbol used to campaign against slave trade around the world. So on the background it says that, am I not a man and a brother? So this was a question from the slave to the slave master. And he is asking this question because a woman being like him reduced him up to the level he is. You can see how they shake the hands and the leg of the slave. And the slave is begging the masters for freedom. But freedom we are not giving to the slave. So, and this was held in the year 1807.
1807?
Yes. Egypt served as cradle of civilization. So we have Pyramid of Giza in Egypt, and this the first university in the whole world. So it was located in African country called Timbuktu University. So here they teach people how to read, how to write, and history. In Mali.
Yes.
So we have Europeans in West Africa. So here, Europeans divide West Africa into 4 major coasts. Each coast was named after the primary resources they see in each places. The first coast was named Grain Coast, the second one Ivory Coast, the third one Gold Coast, and the last coast was Slave Coast. In Grain Coast, yes. So in Grain Coast we have areas like Sierra Leone, Senegal, Gambia, Liberia, and Guinea. Ivory Coast is Cote d'Ivoire. Gold Coast is Ghana, and Slave Coast is Badagry, Nigeria, and with that in Republic of Benin. So the two countries was categorized under the Slave Coast. Out of 100%
Nigeria and Benin Republic.
yes. So out of 100% slave, Nigeria and Benin provide at least 70% than any other coast. So that's why they named the coast Slave Coast. And here we have the Dahomey Empire. So during transatlantic slave trade, Europeans used different objects to exchange slave. We have the king here that sold out his people because of umbrella. And during slavery, Europeans exchanged one umbrella for 40 slaves. So that is, they give you one umbrella, you provide 40 human beings in return. So and here we have the Arabs.
Oh, they are the Greeks.
Yes. So and these are the Arabs taking their females as a slave. So they naked the slaves to inspect each of their bodies. And after the inspection and the bargaining, they transport the white slave through Trans-Sahara desert. So this to show that slave trade is a global business. And not only black were taken as a slave, they also enslaved from other countries. So slavery is what they practice globally.
So you don't know how the whites were taking out. How come?
You said they are taking their own women as slaves, their own people.
So and they use them
Because of
as
money.
domestic slave. So and this has been coming to an existing before the transatlantic slave trade. So slavery is old as human race. Hinterland has some Yoruba states in Nigeria like Osun, Osogbo, Abeokuta, Ibadan, Oyo, Ijebu. So all these far places, they go there with weapons from villages to villages. They shoot gun on the sky. They put fire on people's house. Once the people run out to rescue their life, they're being captured. So all the slave captured from Hinterland are to trek to Badagry here. So all the slave captured from Oyo,
Trek.
so they are to trek to Badagry here.
From Osun State.
Yes.
Can you hear? They are trekking.
So on their way coming, the weak Santa Adon will fell down. So the weak Santa Adon among them will fell down. The master will be forcing them to get up. When the slave refuse, they will cut their head and bury their bodies. Yes. And this is how they attach babies with their parents.
And take the head with them or what?
Yes.
For
Take
what?
the head.
They take the head down to this place to show the masters they captured more slaves, but along the way, some of the slaves died. So this is how they attach babies to their parents, and the babies were given out as a bonus by the slave hunters.
Follow come, child.
So let's see. These are the actual weapons used in slave raiding. So the weapons include the iron sword and the Dane gun. So this is the iron sword and this is the Dane gun. So during transatlantic slave trade, so the value of the iron sword is 40 healthy ladies. And the Dane gun, one of these goes for 40 healthy men.
This is 40 healthy ladies.
Yes.
This is 40
Just
healthy
one of
men.
them is
Yes,
called.
yes.
Just this one like this.
Yes. So one goes for 40 healthy ladies, and this, the Dane gun, one of these goes for 40 healthy men.
So the umbrella was for 20, any men or women?
40.
Anyone.
You said
So
20.
40,
Oh, it was 40.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So either men's or women's. So on this side, we have the neck chains. So these are the neck shackles. This side goes for the neck of the male slaves. This side goes for the neck of the female slaves. This for the neck of the babies. This for leg of two stubborn
They're even putting
slaves.
chains on babies.
Yes. This side for leg of Mr. A, the other side for
Guys,
leg
you
of
say
Mr.
like
B.
it's nothing.
And this ankle lock
No,
for
they
a
do.
stubborn slave. And you have seen this small one called brandy knife. They use this to indicate the buyer's name at the body of the slave. At times, the master forced the slave to cross their hands like this and they pierce it out as a punishment.
Pierce the hand.
Yes.
When it's not Jesus.
So we have artistic impression of the
Never come
torture of
back.
the slave. So this is how they tortured. This is how they tortured this slave at Badagry point of no return for him to be less aggressive.
This is a natural person.
No,
or-
someone did this
Artistic
drawing.
impression.
This is a natural person.
Yes.
Wow.
This can be a natural person.
You say someone just.
It's someone's painting.
painting.
It's a painting.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a painting.
But like, I mean, does this person exist?
No, no.
No. He was once a slave.
It is something like this.
Yes.
Like an illustration.
Yes.
How can it be beat up somebody?
Think go pose made a drawing like.
It can be snapped. During that time, there are photographs.
Possible, sure.
So here we have this is how the slave go through branding process. So after they capture slave, they doesn't bear their names anymore. So the slave bear the master's name. And this is how they used to indicate the buyer's name at the body of the slave. Let's assume slave buyers bearing Williams or Thomas. So they use hot iron. So they put the iron inside fire. When the iron becomes hot and red, so they use it in written Williams at the back for the female slaves and at the chest for the males. So during the process, some of the slaves contact disease and they die. So we have separation of family. After they capture all families together, they share them to different countries, father to Europe, mother to US, and babies to Brazil. Like this, they won't be able to see each other till eternity. Rest more.
I think I will come and see myself. Bro, this is good. See it. Even this.
So here we have expectation and sales of Negroes. So the black slaves are called Negroes. This is how they naked the slaves to inspect of their bodies on a market called Zanzibar in Tanzania. And out of these slaves, Europeans reject some. So these are rejected one. Rejected slaves are called macrons in the Portuguese language.
Macrons.
Yes, in English we call them disables because the slaves are not more healthy. That's why they reject them. And after rejecting the slave, they kill the slave immediately because they don't want the slave to come back to Africa and started telling people what their eyes have seen over there. That's why they kill the macrons. And here we have artistic impression.
Sorry, what did you say they call the
macrons?
No, the accepted ones.
So the black slaves are called Negroes.
Okay.
Yes. So this is a market here in Badagry called Blikete Slave Market. So this market was established in year 1502, where they sold out 300 slaves in each market day, and the market days for 5 days. Every 5 days, they used to come to this market to buy human being the way they buy goods today. Annually, 17,000 slaves is being taken from the market.
So where is this located, Mike? Where was it located?
Inside Badagry.
Inside Badagry, so.
Not so much. But I really.
So we have medium of esteem. So we have bottle of gin used in exchange of 10 enslaved Africans. So we have cowries Manila. So the two items are currently here in Africa then. If you check our 100 naira notes, you will see the cowries and the Manila at the back. So we have tobacco pipe and those are the shells for the babies. The items used for
Sorry, where is the
slave
tobacco
fish.
pipe? Those ones.
This one. The white small one in the middle.
Oh, this is the tobacco pipe.
Yes.
Is it broken or this how it's
So
supposed
the hands are cut off.
Oh, okay.
So we have marching of the slaves to the point of no return. So these are the gang slaves. So you will see a master in the front, another master in the middle, while another master at the back. A pregnant woman is also among the slaves. So anytime this woman gives birth to a child, it's a close to this master's slave. And because of the heavy load the slave carry at the backs, so the weak and tired one among them will fall down. The master will be lashing them to get up. When the slave refuse, they will cut their head, remove their chains, and then carry the body. They continue their journey down to this place called Barakun. So the Barakun was built at the front of the Atlantic Ocean, meaning slave sale. So this is where the slave will be waiting for the ship to arrive. And after arrival of the ship, they transport the slave to unknown destinations. And this was a cage drawn on animal skin. So this was a cage drawn on animal skin. This is where they kept the new captured slaves before the next market day. Let's see the facilitators.
They were able to capture people like that.
Did you go along there?
Hey, this is this man. If you see people dressed like this, you say the naive woman.
So here we have the slave facilitators. So these are the slave dealers. So we have Prince Henry, the navigator. So he's a Portuguese slave dealer. We have Captain John Hawkins, the first English slave dealer. We have Felix da Souza from Brazil. So this man dominated the business for over 30 good years. So he later settled down in Wida in the Republic of Benin. Up to today, his family members are still there. We have George Flamingo, one of the slave dealer that died here in Badagry, and he was buried here in Badagry. And this is Bristol City in England. The city built from wealth in slave trade. So all the money they made from slave trade was used to build the city. And at your back, we have slave advertisements on tablets. So after taking slaves from Africa down to Europe or US, they resold the slaves to different masters. They have to be sold a cargo of 94 prime healthy Negroes. We have to be sold and let by public auction on Monday, the 18th of May, 1829. We have age, capacity, or number, age, and capacity of the slaves, and that's slave auctioned. So there they auction the slaves, so they place a raffle draw. So for the person that paid the highest amount, we go for the slaves. So and the slaves were sold out on Black Friday. So this origin of Black Friday, people getting something from Jumia today, was originated from slavery, because the black people have been sold at the cheapest rate on Black Friday. So let's see the next please. So the master released the slave by the bash. So to go under the pot on plantations to suck the water like animal, because they used to tie their hands at the back. So the slave are meant to go down to suck the water like animal. After the first, second, third bash, the next batch to consume the water, they get injured by the edge of the pot. So their blood will flow inside the water. With the blood, they continue drinking. Once the water finish, that's the end for the day.
No water for you.
If blood enter, if you drink blood, don't die.
So here we have the Cameroon. So this was used in a stage of 100 enslaved Africans. So the short one goes for 40 slaves.
Something like this, or this is...
This is exactly the
This is the exact one. It wasn't built. This was what they used. They've actually used this thing before to kill ancestors.
So this was used in a stage of 100 slaves. The short one goes for 40 slaves. So they use this here in Africa to wage war amongst the community. So the winners would capture the losers and sold out as a slave to the Europeans.
Things they have to know.
And these replicas of the slave ship. The ship have two decks, the upper deck for the masters and the lower deck for the slaves. So on the lower deck, the slaves stay there for 12 to 30 weeks. The same position, they urinate and defecate, and they died every day. Not to contaminate the lower deck, death only are being thrown inside the ocean. And when the ship becomes too heavy on the icy, so to move at the master desired speed, they move down to the lower deck and drag some people inside the ocean for the ship to become more lighter to run at their own desired speed. And this loading pattern, so this is how they load the slaves. So they stay here for 3 to 4 months before they get to the final destinations. And they feed the slave once in a day. So we are going upstairs. Welcome to this gathering called Resistance and Punishment. So here we have a dog catching a runaway slaves. So anytime the slaves is trying to escape from plantation, the master sends the dog after the slaves. And the dogs were trained to kill. They go after the jugulars of the slaves to cut off their throats. Sometimes the slaves used to kill the dogs, and after 5 minutes, when the dog is not returning back, the master released more set of dogs to go after the slaves. They believe when the slaves escape, they can easily gang up to attack masters on plantation. So for that not to happen, they prefer to the slaves to be killed than for them to escape. And over there, we have different punishments given to the slaves. So we have the female side, sit on your head. We have the male side, lay by your side. We have lashing of the slaves. So that's how they hang that particular slaves. So they hang the slave like this. So they put the long iron inside fire. When it becomes hot, they put it on their anus. And these are slaves revolting against the masters. This is where the slaves are revolting against the masters. This was a woman called Madres Ghana. The woman that's care for children and about to take her own life, that she preferred to die with her own kids than to live as a slave.
But she was taken there as a slave.
What?
Was she taken there as a slave, but she was given birth to them?
This is the one that
This is a white,
child.
this is like a black American woman.
So she was captured with the babies as a slave.
From
And
Africa?
I don't know where they captured them from. But
Because of her name. I presume she's...
Madres Ghana.
They will have to take. No, they might have taken their owner's name.
Sure.
So slave doesn't bear their real name.
Even so, I think I heard that some slaves can even be like released, and I don't think the other person can capture them. Maybe. This one look like a top man.
So and these are different adverts for reward for anyone that found a runaway slaves. So they place different adverts. We have $1,400 reward. We have $30 reward. We have $1,000 reward.
Back then,
And
I
then
thought
also
better money,
depends on the
bro.
value of such slaves. So this one on rebellion. We have the plantation slaves and the domestic slaves. So domestic slaves are the oldest ones that cannot work on plantation anymore. So they work on their master's house as domestic slave. So they allow this couple to marry each other, and their name is Mr. and Mrs. Milton Nuttall. So whenever these couples are reproducing, they will be giving birth to more slaves because their babies will always become a slave. But mostly the males among domestic slaves are being castrated for them not to have anything with the master's wife or master's daughters.
So why is this one not
So,
castrated?
What?
This
so
one,
how would they now give birth?
this man,
when
this
the-
I said
Mr.
most of them, not everyone.
So most of them are castrated.
them. So here we have different plantations, like we have the maize plantation, tobacco plantation, we have cotton plantation and sugarcane plantation. For the slaves that work on sugarcane plantation, they are not allowed to eat or to talk to one another. So they used to cover their mouths and they open it once in a day. For them not to eat out of what they are planting.
What are they opening it for?
For them not to
eat,
eat
yes.
too much.
To eat once in a
So
day.
they open if I don't want to eat, close it back after. Take you about your
So
grandfather.
what, this picture that they are eating, what happened?
They don't want them to eat this stuff because they will have strength. This what's it? The reclaim, exactly.
I think
This thing gives strength.
So this was part of the time they opened their mouths.
Yeah, maybe.
No.
So
all
what-
this one that was eating now,
Yeah.
so they are so good to their masters.
Okay.
So the masters allow them to take out of what they are planting so they can gain more strength to work.
So walk more,
But
okay.
this was only common among the
That's
masters.
Among the
Dutch
Dutch masters.
This day,
work on sugarcane plantation. So in preventing the slave not to eat out of what they are planting or to communicate
That
against the
thing will tight
masters.
their head like that.
Yes, and they padlock it at the back. So, and those are the slaves
I don't berserker.
eating out of what they are planting, so to gain more strength. And this was a woman. So the woman that was raised by her master, she gave birth to twins. One is black, the other one is white.
How did she explain that? Okay, she followed the master.
She was raised by the master.
Okay.
So she gave birth to twins.
One is
was
genetically,
black, the other one is
Yes, more science.
the other one is white.
So
About the two
slavery
babies,
is short for
yeah.
this one, right?
at the end of the day, even this one is a black person. This one that is white.
But
at the end of the day,
she
it's a
was
black
mostly
person.
white.
If in those
You know,
days-
then they had no
in
name
those
for
days-
Hispanics.
In those days, if it's a black person that gave birth to you, even if you are green, you are a black person.
But do we know if this girl was enslaved?
No, they treat all this one different from the slaves.
But this one was a short slave.
In short, the plantation.
It's short for him. Plantation boy.
So this got the plantation. And these are the wet-nurse. So the wet-nurse are African women that they have their own babies before they capture them as a slave. And when they force them to New World, the master will force them to drop their own babies and started breastfeeding the master's wife's baby. Because they don't want their wife breast to become sack and they believe in African snake. And that's sugarcane refinery. So there they refine sugarcane to sugar. They bring it back to Africa to exchange more slaves. One packet of sugar in exchange of 10 slaves.
Sweet investments.
I mean, literally sweet. Just
Some of the slaves gain their freedom and they trace back their roots. We have a good example of Bishop Samuel Ajay Crowder. So he was once a slave who was captured at the tender age of 12 years. So he gained the freedom and come back to Badagry here, where the man translated English Bible to Yoruba version in year 1845. We have Candido Darusha. Darusha is also a slave who was captured at the age of 6 years. He gained the freedom and come back to Lagos Island and become the richest
This
man
one.
ever. Yes.
how did they gain their freedom?
So after they abolished slavery.
Okay.
So and we have some English name in Lagos today: Williams, Thomas, Cook, Da Silva, Dorothy, Santos Silva, Smith. Cook, all this English name in Lagos today. So they are the returnees. They are the one that join hands together to build all these buildings here.
These buildings in
This
Lagos.
CMS Church in Lagos at Marina side. So this street attention
This video is still alive.
Holy Cross
Still in Lagos.
Cathedral built with that, yes, and the structure is Brazilian architectural designs. That's a replica of the first building in Nigeria. And these are the abolitionists. So we have Amazon's up now being the Republic. So there was a movie for this called The Woman King.
Yeah.
So this is the real
Okay, this
picture
was
of-
them, abi?
Yes. So this is the real picture of the Woman Kings. So we have Nani of Ghana. So Nani is a woman that played significant role during Maoist revolution that leads to a country called Jamaica.
Mao. Mao uprising.
What?
Is it Mao uprising?
Mao? I don't know.
I thought you said Mao revolution.
No, Mao
Okay,
revolution.
Mao.
Yes.
Okay, I said Mao uprising.
No, Mao revolution that leads to a country called Jamaica.
This is
So this is Harriet.
This man is.
So Harriet is the one that rescued 300 slaves through underground railway without losing a soul. And she come back and make a statement. I could have rescued more, only if knew they were a slave. So we have Natona.
So they did not know they were slaves.
Yes.
No, most of them they gave birth to them.
Yes.
Just
So most
they
of
were
them
born with it. So
was born
white
into
man.
slavery.
Brown.
So we have Natona. Natona is a slave that fight with 10 slave masters and kill all of them in a night with a single sword. We have Toussaint Louverture. So he's the one that first campaigned against slavery. So he's the one that first rebelled
This man is
against
white man.
slavery. So no,
black.
he was captured
Toussaint.
from Benin Republic in Alada. So this is Captain John Brown. So he is mulatto. He's the one that give the fighters the weapons they use to fight for their freedom. And because of this, he was sentenced to death to be killed by hanging. And he was killed December 1859. We have Thomas Clarkson, we have Ben Sharp, Olaudah Equiano, Frederick Douglass, William Wilberforce. And this only Nigerian among them.
Lord, I find.
that's like Brazilian, that's a Portuguese.
You have some track. This.
It's not none of this masquerade stuff. Is
But let's talk about Badagry itself.
Oh.
Yeah, so this is the history of Badagry. So here we have a masquerade called Zambeto Masquerade here in Badagry.
Called what?
Zambeto Masquerade here in
I've heard
Badagry.
about this thing before. People used to use it to insult you.
It's
I guess I thought something. I don't
no,
know.
it's not some method.
San. People must say Zan, but they say San.
I don't know.
So they use this here in Badagry for entertainment and for security at night. So during the daytime, this masquerade used to perform different magic, dancing. If they open, you won't see anything under. At night, it serves as security. And here in Badagry, we still respect this.
But
And
not to
that's
use again.
what?
They're still using it.
We still practice
That's still
this
using it.
up to tomorrow. So we have Sato drum. Sato is a spiritual drum, beaten once in a year, beaten by the orphans.
Is it the actual drum or is it a replica?
And this is just the replica for the
It's
museum.
not as tall as this.
What?
It's not as tall as this.
No.
Like the actual drum.
No,
is tall.
it's even taller than this.
Ah,
So that's how
they.
that's how they used to display. So
Are they as tall as this?
they jump up to beat.
They jump up.
So before taking the drum out, they must surely cover the contact with the white plate. Because the female
Or
are not allowed
the man.
the drum. Because the female are not allowed to look under the drum. So it's only orphans that have access to it, and they beat the drum to wipe away the cause of stillbirth from community.
So what about the females that are orphans?
They can beat, but they are not allowed to look under the drum. Yes. So any female that look under the drum will lose her menstruation till eternity. Yes.
It's happened.
And those are different sites here in Badagry.
All these things have already covered. These stuff's already covered in the. That guy said that you go to.
So here we have cultures in Badagry. So these are Badagry cultures. We have Kori dance, we have Egungun, and we have Vodun.
Ogun people. Ogun. Like I mean the Ogun now.
Ogun.
No. I'm looking at it as Ogun. Ogun. Like /Ogun.
Okay.
Ogun is Yoruba people that call it Egun.
Yes.
Pronounce Ogun.
You people like this so much. That's like anything in Ogun.
So here we
I'm
have
actually a grandma.
native occupation in Badagry.
This
We have
woman is
mat-
in the currency.
What?
Or is she not the one?
No.
Oh, she's putting her hand in the
Yeah,
fish. That one is
yes.
putting her hand in
So
the
it's weaving mat. So we have mat weaving, coconut. We have mat and basket weaving, coconut farming and marketing. We have boat carving, and fishery is a major occupation here in Badagry. And here we have the streets in Badagry 1889 and Badagry 2019. So Badagry before and modern Badagry. So once again, you're welcome to Badagry Heritage Museum.
And what
This
is
is all what we have for you. So this is just an artwork of an oracle.
Oracle.
Yes. So you're welcome.
Compound we are here is called Brazilian Barracoon. Before I proceed, let me introduce myself. My name is Tobiloba. So I'm one of the top guide here in Badagry. So I will be your curator for this personal museum.
Thank you very much.
So as I said earlier, this compound is called Brazilian Barracoon. So Barracoon is the Portuguese word meaning a slave cell, where the slave were kept in the olden days. So during that period of slavery, we have 40 rooms in this compound. And each of the rooms for the slave were kept in for 3 months. That is the minimum of 1,600 slaves have been there of this compound every 3 months before the arrival of the European. They have to pass under the slave force. They have to cross the lagoon down to the island called Slave Point of No Return. So this is the cenotaph of the man that owns this compound. His birthday was Ifare Emile. He is a Yoruba man. Foremleku means oracle wife you might say. So how come Foremleku now become so equivalent to us? During that period of slavery, once a person is being captured as a slave, the first thing they have to take care from the person is the identity. That is he or she, they never bear their name again. They have to bear their master's name or any name the master wishing to give them. This young man here was a slave that later became a slave master. He was captured at the age of 6 years old at a town in Ogun State called Ijoga by Dahomey slave raiders. When they captured him, they sold him to a black man, he lived at Dahomey. His name is Abbas. Dahomey today is now known as Benin Republic. We have two categories of slaves. We have the field, we also have the domestics. So the field were the ones that work on the plantation farm, while the domestics have to work with the master at home. But mind you, for the male men, they are being castrated so that they will not have sex with the master's wife or master daughter at home. So along the line, there's a white man from Brazil. His name is Williams. He used to come from Brazil to buy stuff for Mr. Bass at Dahomey. But whenever he came, he kept on seeing this young man working hard down than Mr. Bass. Finally, Mr. Williams, the white man, bought this man from Mr. Bass and took him down to Brazil. Because of the love he had for him, he gave him education. He taught him how he could read and he could write. And his leg at them because slaves are not allowed to go to school. They believe that when they let them go to school, one day they will stand up and fight for their rights. So whenever Mr. Williams, the white man, is going for the business, is to take this gentleman along with him. So along the line, Mr. Williams called him, gentleman, come. You have been working for me for a while. I want to give you your freedom on one condition. You have to work for me. What this man is trying to say, the white man, Mr. Williams, is trying to say, instead of him going to Abbas at Dahomey to buy steel, was the one that made his company for this man outside the slave business with him. So this man has no choice. He said, your master, your wishes will come. So when this man was back to Africa, he was supposed to stay in Lagos, which is now known as Lagos Island now. So up to date, he have houses and family at Lagos Island. So this compound was built and established in 1840. So that says yes. So that Seriki there is a title given to him. Seriki means the head of the Muslim because it was this man that first of all brought Islamic down to Badagry. So that title, that Seriki is the title, yes.
How did he become a Muslim?
I said earlier that his birthday was Ifare Mileku.
Yes.
Definitely will come from something Oracle background.
Yes,
So
yes.
when he got to Abbas, Abbas was a Muslim, so it was Abbas that taught him about Islamic religion.
Oh.
So when he was back to Africa, he continued with the religion.
Was he taken to Arab country? Why is he Abbas?
Abbas is a Muslim. He's a
That
slave
bought him.
master. Yes, that first of all owes him as a slave.
Oh.
You get my point?
Okay. I heard that if somebody buy you, they have to write your name.
Yes.
So you have like three up to like
Yes, that is why you're seeing Abbas and Williams in the story.
Yes. But, you know, in today's world, Williams and Abbas can still
Second master. Okay, second master that owes him as a slave. Abbas was the first master that owes him as a slave. So that Seriki is the title given to him here in Badagry. So his birthday is Ifare Mileku. You can see Ifare Mileku disappeared.
Yes, exactly.
Because slave doesn't bear name, they have to bear the master's name. So these are the some of European products used in exchange of slaves then in West Africa. Because when the European came then, there are types of money we will spend then. We will spend cowrie shells. We spend, let's call Manila. so-called tobacco. Those are the items used as money then. But the European told our African ship that that money has no value. So it was European that introduced a trade called trade by barter. You have to give out what you have to take in what you don't have. So European will come with one umbrella for 40 slaves.
This umbrella.
Yes, we still have the only surviving one now.
Eh.
You will see it if it will really worth 40 human being or not. So a bottle of gin for 10 slaves.
With the gene inside.
Yes, there's gin inside. This is just like an example. We still have the surviving bottle in our museum. So the
And
cannon
also
guns.
this.
This is just like an example. We see the
This
real
one is
one in the
also.
museum.
Oh.
So cannon guns, the big one for 100 slaves, what is small one for 40
But
slaves.
sorry, can I ask a question? Why, since they are, Emu now, palm wine?
It is yet from time that we African doesn't value what we have. Before those people came, at least
elephant trunks to us.
only man Nigo, only man Jego. But we have alcohol that we are taking here.
Exactly.
And I said
So
it then. So and it's still happening up to date. We
my
Africans
problem now is that
doesn't
when we
value what
see
we
a
have.
white man, we start behaving like I see.
It is that one time. Though they has quality more than us, and there is those
We have
quality.
quality more than them.
We did not know that.
We did not. Yes, we did not know. But the one that asked, the one they asked, look new.
They took
Woman to know you are. So they use that stuff to brainwash us. Even some of this stuff like mirror now. The reason why mirror was added to the stuff was because during that period, once the slave master is finished dress, or let me say a king, it is their wife or children that will tell them how good looking they are. There was no mirror. Some even check if from water at times. So European person says that whenever they had that product, so it will, yes, it will make them
Europeans are brainwashing.
so
You know,
Too much of
so
brainwashing.
let's go back to the cannon guns. The cannon gun, the big gun for 100 slaves, or the small for 40 slaves. We Africans, what do we do with the cannon guns? We used to fight ourselves for us to gather more slaves to sell to the European. The Dane gun over there for 40 slaves. Ceramic bowl, we call it breakable plate for 10 good
So you
human beings.
mean these guns now that they're using to fight in the Kiriji war, they are
Yes,
exchanging people.
Shakabula, yes, for
We have
40
one
slaves.
Either
we
the
had
entire
this powder gun then.
No.
Wait,
We don't have
even
any
then,
gun.
we
They
don't
are
have any
using
gun. They
arrow
brought that gun
and
to us.
machetes.
We don't have
Everything.
gun.
They
It
brought
was
that
the
gun.
Russians
We don't
that
have gun.
like
They brought it.
branded the guns to not
Pellets.
matchlock. What is this?
I'm coming there. So ceramic bowl, we call it breakable plate for 10 good human beings. Marion at the beach, they saw for bargain power. It depended on the negotiation, the tangible agreement with the European. So Ketu and the Brazils are the gifts given to him when he became the Seriki Musulmi of Badagry. So Ketu by the Germany and Brazils by the Brazilian.
Is the stuff as big as this?
You see it in our museum. Everything is inside the museum.
Just wondering. And what
So
this
I said earlier.
is chieftaincy, right? Or what?
No, I already talked about it. Yes, now for exchange of slaves. Mirror and the bead, yes.
Well, we used to have
There is what they call
Africa now.
there is what they call bargain power.
It's true. You said it.
So
Like cowries now, they just give meaning to cowries. Now it's nothing.
so I said earlier that we have 40 rooms in this compound. There is an agreement between the descendants and the federal government of Nigeria which kept 2 rooms out of those 40 rooms and kept some of the important valuable documents used in those periods. So let's kindly go into the room and see what we have there. So you are welcome once again to Brazil.
Thank you very much.
So this one we are here is called the inspector room, where they inspect them, check them if they are good or not before taking them inside the slave cell. Slaves have to stay in there for 3 months. They eat once in a day, they drink water once in a day. They work for 18 hours and last for just 15 minutes. Whenever they want to excrete, they excrete to themselves in that room. Whenever they want to urine, they do the same thing to themselves in that room. For those ladies that are being captured with pregnancy or little babies, once they give birth, their children is as bonus for the European because they believe they will survive and they may not survive. And whenever ladies are passing through their menstrual stuff, they have to do the stuff for themselves in that room. So not everybody's health could survive. Some of them died every day.
Sorry, I read as a researcher, think those slaves did that, like the master usually check the possibility of that child being strong or healthy. Like if it's not strong enough, they notice from there to keep the child.
No, that's not the truth. You can't
Say just now to me is more or less like slavery in Libya. You don't grab it. You know how those Libyans used to do so. I hate it. I was not been there. But this one, I'm here now, and I know. I'm hearing.
So because this gallery is slave tortured, some of the punishment given to the slayer slave, or some of them that I'm trying to push forward. They have to give them the torture to show an example to the rest. Like this punishment like this, they have to bring one items there. I thought you see it as movie. They have to break this bone here by force and 14. So whenever it's well, it will make it bigger. So they will hang them on the tree.
Okay, whenever
For
it's
them,
short, to make it big.
yes. Well, one so you can hear
I'm
only
getting the
judge
point. I'm
father.
getting the point.
So we call the and I said earlier that we have two categories of slaves. We have the field, we also have the domestic. So the field we're being treated this way. This stuff is recovering
This
their
rate,
mouth.
this is terrible.
Yes, we call it mouth off. So they will not
Mouth
eat
like
off.
dog God.
Yes, so they will not eat or communicate during working or whatever the petition form they are working. Because they believe that if they give them the opportunity for them to talk, they may plan to run away or plan to harm the white man. So we call this gallery slavery chains and shackles. Some of the real chains and shackles used in those period. And I said earlier that once the person is being captured as a slave, they have to take away his or her identity. That is, the person will never bear his name again. You have to bear the master's name or any names the master wishing gave them. Look at this long item here. We call it iron driller. So in some places it is called brandy. They have to put that item into fire. When it gets red, they will write the slave master's name on the chest of the slaves or the back of the slave just for identification.
Identification.
Come inside. Please, you help us with your lunch.
It's on your phone. Your flashlight.
Come once again. So imagine 40 human beings staying here for 3 months.
Inside this room.
Inside this room. 40 human beings staying for 3 months. Upon the means I said they did on themselves. So look at that small window over there.
This one was not there.
No. So look at this small window over there. That is the ventilation are allowed to come in there. So let's just thank our God that we are
This
not
thing
just
used to
giving them.
make
there.
it like then, like the same it.
Even it will be more than this. Upon the
Eh?
sheet that
It's
was the
true,
stuff
like
they have to
40 people.
in this fucking nobody knew if they were sitting, nobody knew if they were standing, nobody see let's just thank our God that we are not giving bed there.
Yes.
So we call this gallery European slavery exchange materials. Like some of the items that European bring in exchange for human being. So we call this item exactly ceramic bowl. Ceramic bowl, they have to bring one of these items and take away 10 good human beings from us. And this is the money called cowrie shell, the money that the European said it has no value before a trade called trade by barter was introduced to the business. So we call this is the only surviving bottle of gin in exchange for 10 good human beings. And these are the gifts given to him when he became the Serikin Zulmi of Badagry. This is the Brazil and this is the kettle. So I said earlier that this man was a slave before he had the opportunity to become the slave master on his condition with his boss, with Mr. Williams. So when he became a slave master, these are the items he used for his personal self. We have the cooking pot, we have the water pot, we have the lamp, we have the headlights, we have the lantern. That round thing there it is called ancient days gramophone records, just like our nowadays DVD. And these cameras are the original cameras used in getting some of those pictures you are seeing on the wall. So you can check around and let us check the other cell.
Same.
In some places, female and male were joined together, but in this personal house, men are put separate, women are also put separate. So that first set is for the male, and this is for the female. This man had a story building in this compound. The building was built in the year 1847, but the building was no more. The building collapsed early 2000. So this is the main entrance door of the building since 1847, and this is the picture of the building when the building is still standing. Later in the day, I will show you where the foundation of the building was built. The building was built for Mr. Ifarem Lekun, and also the building was built for Mr. Williams. Whenever he's around and he has the opportunity to go the same day, he has to sleep over in the building. So slavery here in Badagry lasted for over 300 to 400 years
In Badagry.
before it was abolitioned.
Is this place called Badagry then?
This is Badagry.
It's always been Badagry.
Eh.
So some of the slaves have to return. We call them slave returnees. We have Santos Silva, we have Darusha, it is like that. So Darusha was one of the ancient slave returnees then in 16th century. So this is a picture of Darusha.
They also indulge in slavery.
Yes. No, he was a slave that later returned. Yes, but he has money then.
Okay, like
So these are the people. So he knows about their working items, so he used to make money here in Lagos. So these are the dog that are trained to chase away runaway slaves. Because European prefer
That would be very, very important.
so the European prefer the slaves to be dead than for them to be alive, for them to run away or escape. So any so there yes. So they will even reward for anybody that caught a runaway slaves in some places like $100, $200. So in some places they were reward for it. So I told you that Mr. Williams loved this man and he has the opportunity to give him education. This man has privilege to white man languages. The man could speak English, Dutch, Spanish, and Portuguese. So this is the handwriting of the man, where he sold a piece of land to one of the friends here in Africa.
What's handwriting?
Faremilekun.
Wow.
So this is the picture of the man when he became the Seriki Musulumi of Badagry. So these are the Seriki Williams Saba's family trees. So come inside.
I left it on.
So this stuff we are seeing here is just like a standing statue of how the man is being dressed during those days. That cloth is putting on, we call it regalia. It is a gift by the Brazilian. That cloth you are seeing, it was made with other hand, not machine. So imagine the only surviving umbrella that the European brought and take away good 40 human beings from us.
The actual umbrella.
This is the original brown one.
The original umbrella.
Yes. So a slave have to carry this umbrella for how long his master is outside. If the master is using 2 to 3 hours, the slave have to carry it for 2 to 3 hours. But the umbrella must not mistakenly fell on the master's head. They have to beard the slave immediately.
Bro. Wow.
Yeah. I will shake.
At least go make carry about 30 minutes now.
Yeah.
See what? It's on drink for
You know what I heard him said that for as long as the matter is outside. Yeah. He said it. One of the videos there. That's what if the matter is like, oh yeah, for money to review.
Now the choice be that now. This slave no get choice. So these are some of his historical Williams about clothes. We call this clothes title clothes. But to call it ashore. Okay. We also have the waist chains for the stubborn slaves. So this is Seriki Williams Sabas, license chair, very relaxed in the shelf once in a while whenever he's tired. This chair you're seeing here is over 100 days and above.
this particular one.
Yes. So we call this item yes, iron corrugated sheet. The original zinc used in covering the slave cell. You can see 100% different from the one we are using now. So finally, this one I've been talking about, he died. Let's gently go and check where the man was buried. Of Chiseriki Williams Sabas. I said before we proceed to where the man was buried, this well was dug by the slave in the year 1847, and the descendants of Chief Seriki Williams Sabas are still making use of the water up till date. The water is not drinkable. Like in Badagry here, we have like 3 or more important wells that are important for visitors like you to come and know. There is another one at the first story building. It is called the first cemented well in Nigeria and the only drinkable well in Badagry. That well is called Miracle Well. It was dug by the missionaries. So the third one is across the lagoon. That island is called Berefu Island. And Berefu means isolated land or dry land. We Badagrians call that place heaven of tourism. So that well entirely name is called Original Slave Spirit Attenuation Well or Memory Lost Well. When the slave get there, they have to give them water to drink so that they will lose their memory, not for life, but for 3 to 4 months, so they won't be able to relocate or remember where they are coming from. So this is our soldier morale song that is to say, "Eh, shobe, mora." It is not shobe. It is the European, the white, that used to call the slaves apes. Apes means monkey, telling them to obey. So it is apes obey. So let's check where the man was buried.
National.
You can see the brainwashing.
National. Instruction.
So when the man died, he was buried here. He died 11th of June 1919. So when he died, he was buried by the Brazilians and by the Muslims. So you can see the right SCID over there. This man was the senior chief of Ilaro Division. A very touching story. You know, Muslim doesn't unlike concubines. They prefer to marry their wife. This man doesn't have time for much wife and more children, but he managed to have just 128 wives and he had 144 children.
This man.
Eh. So this the last one of the man was buried beside him here. His name is Alhaji Saka Ajao Seriki Abbas. This man was 6 years old when his father died. He was born 1913. His father died 1919. He died 1987. He had just 8 wives and 17 children. So because of the knowledge Mr. Williams gave to Ifarem Lefun, when he was back to Africa for the business, all the African chiefs he met used him as their head because he was the one that could attend to the Europeans to their satisfaction due to the languages the man could speak. So this man was the first paramount ruler here in Badagry, and this is the court where the man do passing judgment to the villages and town around him. And if the man want to have some big meetings with the chiefs, with the kings, this is where the man do attend to them. And this is the man chamber where he relax himself once in a while when
In
he
the open
is
or inside
tired.
this room. But this is where
So
they have the meetings in the open area.
this is what the story building I was talking about that was built in the 1847 that was no more that collapsed early 2000 was built here. So these are the foundation of the building.
This place.
Yes. So in the first cell there is an apology letter by the descendants of Chief Seriki William Sabas that they are very sorry for the roles and involvement of Chief Seriki William Sabas in the Transatlantic slave trade, either by force or by choice. They are very sorry. So you're welcome. Thanks for coming.
Thank you very much.
Take a slave market. And this is like the slave market in West Africa. That he is not copying his voice because you know stars. The market is family everything knows. When I said 200 slave market, 200, I spend market every 5 days. Any slave cash from your empire. I have to take it to the after the market, they go back to the shop. Let them pay for the cost of production. Our party quality. And this trial of Jalanda, Jatlanda, the man who did that.
white man?
Yes, that's the Jatlanda.
This one?
No, the man who did that.
This one is it.
When this man come for Oak Carton guy in your state, visit Badagry year 1825. Portugal saw this man here, reported to the king of Badagry. When this man came to Badagry to come and spy about the slave business, that's how they call him here. They give us some concussion to take inside the Calabar. Then the Chalana paid the concussion. She survived the trial. After the survived the trial, the Chalana went back home in year 1852. The Chalana came back to Badagry to come and sign the business in Badagry to put the stop for the slave business in Badagry.
Okay, when he first came, they don't believe him that.
Yes. Let's say Britain restored the house in year 1807. Before Badagry 1825. They put the chamber to the base. So that they can see the other more powerful and national slave. The one was the state fighter. The rest is the chain and the chamber.
Listen to him.
Yeah, from the Royal Empire. March them down the slave market here. To come and sell that. The slave catcher to the slave market.
From Oyo, they will trek.
Trek. Trek and boat.
And there's no boat from Oyo.
No water.
Hey.
Slave catcher from Europe. Slave catcher to the slave market here.
It is history now. Real life.
I brought you here so that I can come and see.
So I'll see your forefathers.
This is not good for the slave. In 1852 to 1888. The Veduna, where they put for the slave for the cost of worship. For party dates. Yes. And this bishop said that father actually by own village will show you. In the state, I didn't get 12 years.
So he was even captured, not that he was slave naturally.
Also, it's only as a slave.
I mean, he was a free man. Naturally. Slave on to Shokoto.
The band is never still green.
This are something to join the market. We have beat. We have
Somebody can buy.
yes, very simple.
It covers everything.
Yes. I should get all the
How much is it?
This one's 4,000. Yes.
How much one?
Not
Okay.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
So that the state workers, the state workers have got them and bringing. Yes. We should just show us every question from the last era. What did this we talk about the slave business? Show us African portion from before the last era. Only this we talk about the slave business. You want to see the change.
These are what we teach Black Americans. This African culture. We teach Black Americans to play down. Yes, they don't teach them. We teach them from emancipation to present. We don't teach them African culture at all.
They want to clean it, sir.
Around the world. We are the slave market global around the world. And this is the slave market where we are at the 15th century. And that's the market in France, in Paris.
Why are they making them? The white people are selling them?
Yes. Slave market in Paris, France, in the 1770s. The Sudan movie, almost like Badagry. Or just slave market in Nigeria in 1684. And in that slave market in 1640.
This is what I'm doing much.
Fashion and slave
Why are they
market in
selling
US.
people like that? Is it not lucrative? Is it very lucrative business?
Not repeat.
And that slave market in the US in 1861. Sanova slave market in Brazil.
Even in Brazil.
In year 1440 to 1870, practice of the slave. In Senegal, there are 145 the practice slave.
You don't get price.
This is Seba.
Okay, this is African man.
That is the buyer.
Why are they sending their soldiers to come and buy?
That's why I need to shoot stuff you want to sell.
And okay, the two, they want to sell the two.
What's the deal?
It's a seller. And the buyer is the slave.
Slavery, are they not, is there no punishment for them?
And this is Black Friday. Only slavery in Black Friday is Friday.
Negro man, deep 55 years old.
Yes.
What did they buy?
Take 55 years old.
The name of the person?
Yes. The name of the master.
Oh,
$200. 200 babies.
$10 was a lot of money then.
yeah.
$100. In the end, maybe $50. And that's the market in Florida, Central, but it's the market in Florida. The largest import in Liverpool, in England. And that's the market in Tanzania.
We did a lot of we are already part of all these things.
Sacrifice and kill them.
And this is the show you really sacrifice.
Some of the sounds right now. And these are the slave, power for the master, no one for the slave. The Zoma started the little that is slave inside the water.
For the insurance money.
There's the ship bunker outside, the one that is slave inside the water. Yes, 70-31. And this was the This is the expect African slave for one ship with another.
They exchange them.
Yes, it's a one ship with another. But they're selling from one ship to another. The Arab slave to the West Sea. African slave to New World. And African slave to no destination.
And this big channel of
History.
and very big.
That's the middle part inside the ship. The upper deck, the blue deck and lower deck. When the slave master will see the upper deck, they put the slave inside the middle and lower for good 3 to 6 months. Let us see the other answer.
So
Talking about
After the market,
they
they selected with the target, left over and put the links on that market. Very deep, more than 50 to 20 feet down.
So we are going there now.
We are going now. They already sampled it up.
okay. Like, okay, my phone is here.
oh my million.
Before, very deep, more than this before. So that the slave can never carry themselves and run away. They just take only that put them in and then take them out. You can go down. You can go down.
Yeah. Thanks. Okay.
No, you go carry the phone. Go down.
Now wait on.
Follow him.
I don't know.
So it starts one carry me. Okay.
No, go down.
Okay.
How many people will they keep here now?
No man's in, sir. Yes. You don't share with the one once in. When sleep there, each only once in a day.
Once in and they want to go and sell them. People are mad. Go. Isn't that their business?
They're not feeding their merchandise.
I'm telling you.
Some slave that they buy themselves here, but they sleep out. Before the Lagos say come and fill it up and push them like this. Yeah. They just take only that put there in and then take them out in the market.
How did that slavery start? Who gave them that? I want to buy slave and picking.
Sir, we are already doing the slaving. And that's why talkative and stubborn slave.
That's why they put that thing in his mouth.
Yes, so that you can't talk to any slave again. And the man is full slave. The old man, the man is waiting for him to sell or the man is waiting for him to die. No maximum or any slave they cannot put here. Some
even
die.
Children.
Oh, yeah, you give the person. Some die, they bury themselves here.
Thank God.
I'm a tour guide. I know. I'm big. Please help me. Can we do something together? I'm suffering because I'm going to water. Yeah, sure. Give us. It's short for you, baby. I'm going nowhere.
Let's go. So this well is called the Well of Memory Lost. And during the Transatlantic slave trade, they do give this well to the slaves. So, and the reason for the well is not for them to drink water, and at the same time for them to also drink water. Now, the person that fetched the water for the slave then is an African chief priest. And you wish to agree with me that then there is a big ship that takes the slave from Badagry down to the New World. And the ships can contain about 500 or 600 slaves at a time. Now let's assume there are 600 slaves and they have only 20 slave masters. With that population, the slave master cannot control all the slaves. So that's the reason why they were looking for how to make the slave become less aggressive, pending the time they'll be inside the ship. So meaning they want to be inside the ship for 3 months. So for that 3 months, they'll be less aggressive, they'll be weak. So they come to this well, and then just imagine trekking from that end that we took the bike from down to this place with chains around their body. You see, they will be tired and then they will be eager to drink water. So they bring them here, and then there's a big tree at the other side where the slave will assemble. So the slave will be there, then they'll be coming here one after the other. So the chief priest, he says a magical spell into the water before giving to the slave. So that magical spell is what makes the slave to become less aggressive. And this well was dug in the year 1566, not only in Badagry. In the case of Benin Republic, there's a tree in Benin Republic called the Forgotten Tree. A male has to go around the tree 9 times and the female 7 times. After going around the tree, they become less aggressive. Like the case of Emena Castle in Ghana, they have a well, a river, where they have a river where the slave have to walk through the river. After walking through the river, they become less aggressive. So each sport.
Did they used to force them to do all those stuff?
They were forced, yeah. Like the case of that way, like the case of that river now, there's nowhere they're going to pass again except they pass through the river. So like the case of Badagry, by giving them water, and this was that will change already. So they were thirsty. So by telling them that to come and drink water, they'll be eager to drink from the well. So that's how it is.
Yeah, sorry. Then during that time, when they were bringing the slaves here, were they accompanied by their white masters?
Yeah.
So the white people are aware that they are drinking this water and this water is making them to lose their memory.
Like I said, they don't lose their memory. They just become weak for the meantime. Yeah.
Okay.
Let me just say like
Just because
this,
of the
like,
water.
yes, just maybe let me just say they were hypnotized for the meantime, and not because of the water, because of the magical spell that was added into the water.
By the chief priest.
Yeah, by the chief
so that
priest.
the white people believe that.
Yeah.
So it was, they know.
Yeah.
They actually believe in traditions before
They are
they brought
stealing our
Christianity.
statue now. So they believe no matter.
Imagine, bro,
Please
what's
watch your
now the essence of the Christianity that they brought?
I tell you, bro, that thing is.
They will tell me that Shango is the devil. Yeah, when it went down,
It's in no.
This place serves as the route to transatlantic slave trade in Nigeria, where slaves are being transported, Africans are being transported to Europe. Kindly click the link below in the description or in the comment section to support our next live. And please don't forget to join the membership. Thank you.